My name's Johnny from Steak King, and here we are at the rolling hills of Queensland. Today we're going to learn how to cut a whole tenderloin. This is a Tajima M9, it's the best one you can possibly buy, and I'm going to show you how to cut it into steaks. Have a look at the equipment we've got. We've got an old fillet steak, tenderloin. We've got a chopping board with a cloth underneath it to stop it from sliding. We've got two knives, one to cut the steaks and one to trim them. They're very sharp, that's all we need.
So how much can you save from buying a whole piece?
It depends, but if you went into a butcher or at Steak King, you're going to get at least 20% off if you buy a whole piece of tenderloin or ribeye or strip loin and cut it yourself. Okay, so now let's look at how we trim this. Okay, so we're going to take it out of the packaging. Okay, let's have a look. This is the tail part, this is the head part. And here you see there's some silver skin. So let me show you how to do this. Using this sharp knife, pointy end one, I'm going to slide it under there, under the silver skin. It's really simple. Push it along, right to the end. And then go the other way. Same again, keep going. Just make sure your knife's sharp. Take this off. Give this to your dog. My dog loves this part, the silver skin. Okay, so now if you're coming close, you can see here, there's a little bit of sinew down the side. All we're going to do is point the knife, dig that out. And then a little bit there. So the tenderloin, it's called the tenderloin because it's super tender, and the reason it's tender is from the inside of the rib cage, and it's the muscle that does the least amount of work on the entire animal. So it doesn't exercise, it doesn't do anything. That's why it's super tender and super lean. But this is an M9, so it has got a little bit of fat to it. So I'm just going to trim some fat off, and that's about it. We'll have a look on the other side. A little bit of fat on the tail there. Okay, so that's the trimming done. Any questions?
So how many pieces can you get out of that whole tenderloin?
Well, this weighs about 2.5 kilos. And if we're going to cut 200 gram steaks, we should get about 10 to 12 pieces, but let's try. It doesn't matter. You can cut them whatever size you want, but I'm going to do these at about 200 kilos. Now we're going to cut it into steaks. So this is super important. If you see, I'm going to start with the tail part first, and I'll show you why. 2.5 kilos, we need to be getting 10 steaks out of it. So the first steak, I'm going to cut the tail about there. If I had a scale, that should be about 200 grams. I'm going to push this here, and then I'm going to cut these steaks about so big, 200 grams. Now, if you look at the marbling on this, this is an M9, fantastic, beautiful. But we can cut these steaks any size we want. So remember, as it gets thicker, make the steak less thick so that they're all about the same weight. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, just keep looking at that marbling, it's amazing. 8, 9, 10, 11. Put that in 2. Last but not least. Okay, so now, what do we do with the tail piece, you may ask? So look, the way I've done this is no wastage apart from this silver skin that I get from my dog. Here's a little tip, a little butcher's tip. When you get to that tail piece, and that's the reason why I cut it first, is watch. Maybe just trim a little bit off the end. I'm going to be happy about that. And then I'm going to cut it in half, but only halfway through. So about that. And watch. Tip it up. And then we've got another perfect steak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 steaks and a little bit for my dog. So that's how you get 11, 12 steaks out of a whole tenderloin. They're all about 200 grams. Perfect steaks, perfect for cooking in a pan. Steak Diane. Any questions?
The marbling looks so good.
Yeah, so this is an M9. This will be the best steak you've ever had.
So how long will it last in the fridge?
Okay, so in the fridge so this has never been frozen, so we can freeze it. But in the fridge, if I just wrap this now, it's going to last between 7 and 10 days, depending on how cold your fridge is. All right? So if you're going to use these within 7 to 10 days, don't bother freezing them. But if you're going to freeze them, I'm going to show you how to do that next. Okay, so let's package these suckers. All right, so I've got some water, I've got some Ziploc bags, and I've got some labels. We need to label them so we know what it is, because once it's gone into your freezer, you won't be able to tell what it is. So really simple. I've written M9 tenderloin, and I'm going to write the date on here as well. 17th of the 1st, 26. Okay. Ziploc bags. We're going to put 2 steaks in each one. And the reason why I've got the water is quite simple. It's going to force the air out. Okay. So 2 steaks in one. Drop them into the water, which forces the air out. Zip it up. There you go. Use your own vacuum packing machine without a vacuum pack machine. Stick a label on it, into the freezer. And that's it. So you could do 11, 12 steaks, get 20% discount, cut them, trim them, pack them yourselves. So this is going to last about 1 year in your freezer. Okay? So remember, 7 to 8 days. If you in the original packaging, it's going to be good for at least a month. Once you take it out and you chill it, put it in your fridge, 7 to 10 days. Once you put it into a pack like this, put it in your freezer, 1 year. So my advice, order whole pieces, cut them yourself like this, save a load of money, and don't worry about having to order every week. You've got them in your freezer ready.